Welcome, welcome to a special edition of Breaking Bread. I haven't made a video for this channel in a minute, but this is straight fire right here, and I'm gonna go right on into it, give you some descriptions of what I'm speaking on, and just bring it to the light. So over the years in my studies, I ran across this guy show called John Ankerberg, and he is into what they call apologetics. Very, very knowledgeable, reasonable man, and I most definitely respect him. Yet I had one thing that I had some concern about, that was like one of the topics or one of the discussions or points of interest that they spoke about. Before I tell you that point, let me tell you how this show went. John Ankerberg will get people from different religious systems. He'll get somebody to represent the Muslims, and he has somebody from the Protestant Christians. He'll have the Catholics, and then he have his representative, because he's a representative, or he's a advocate of the Bible from a Protestant perspective. So they had somebody from the Jehovah's Witness, and he had somebody speaking on their behalf. Had somebody from the Mormons. You get the pictures. Orthodox Judaism. But one of the things that they said that I cannot wrap my mind around, and they were so sincere. And when they said it, I was like, what? And this is what they say. That these intelligent men of God, been studying for years through the scriptures, gleaming through them and so forth and so on, that they can't see America in the Revelations. Well, as soon as they said it, I was like, what? Now, my thing is, it is clear when you take down your alliance with America and your alliance with the ideology of white supremacy. And I'm not by any way saying that these guys that came on the John Ankerberg show, or John Ankerberg himself, is a white supremacist. But I know that this particular type of mindset, it'll blind you. Even black nationalists, so-called black nationalists, they strictly black nationalists, they blinded for something. So let's go on into it. Revelations 17. They say that the whore that sits on many waters, that committed fornication with the kings of the earth, set upon a scarlet beast, had a cup filled with blasphemy against the Most High, had his crown with these decoderms on them, so forth and so on. I'm paraphrasing it to the best of my recollection, but most people, they identified that particular chapter with the Catholic Church. And I'm not saying that it's not. But also we got to remember that in that chapter, that one beast gave power to the other beast. The beast had took a mortal wound, and somehow this beast was resurrected by the other beast, excuse me. Long story short, even though that they say that's the Catholic Church, I am confident that is America as well. Because America right now today, in front of our face, in HD, in living color, has committed fornication with the kings of the earth. Nobody can deny it when you look at it. When you make an analysis of it. We have all these dealings. America have all these dealings with these different rulers on the planet. They attempting to put in a one world government based on so-called democracy. So in the process, America has been a whore with these different nations. Has prostituted themselves. And let me bring some clarity on that. Not just in the political aspect, but also in the economical and social and cultural aspect. Right now today, America is limited on what she can do for her own people, because they have lobbied all these jobs out of the country, a form of prostitution, giving these jobs to other people in other countries to exploit them for no other reason because because of the love of money. This is why they done what they done and are still doing what they do. But the whole thing about this prostitution, the taking these jobs away from the people, what it does is put the people in different types of situations, whereas though people start doing things. Some people are able to go get some education and move into different slots and arenas, but some people, especially the people that's on what is on the lower levels of society as far as getting gainful employment, they are competing with people that will be taking $2 and $3 an hour for wages. So these people don't got no jobs. So these people, instead of having these jobs now, they find another job. They go into the criminal enterprise. Now, I'm going to touch down on some things very quickly. What America is most definitely guilty of, because it has come out. America has assassinated its presidents. America has enslaved other human beings. America has practiced these terrible way of operation with people. You know, segregation, exploitation. America has so many crimes. Her errors and sins has reached the heavens. You know, now we look at America from a foundation perspective and say that the founding fathers, they were, you know, promoters in the biblical texts and the morals and the principles. Some people would say yay, some people would say nay. Other people say nah, but these founding fathers, even though they used the biblical aspect, they was also working the Masonic perspective. That's a whole nother ball of wax. But let's move forward. So the other day I was talking to a gentleman and I was telling him that America was based on criminal enterprise. He was a European Caucasian, good friend of mine, you know, and he kind of like, I think that, you know, that rubbed him wrong, because a lot of European Caucasian, so-called white people, don't see no error in this system. They think that this is the best thing that ever happened to the planet. And in the process, they have become blind to the fact that in the book of Daniel, the king Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon, the Great, who they spoke about in Revelation 17, Babylon the Great, the mystery whore. In the book of Daniel, I think it's chapter 4, King Nebuchadnezzar had a dream that he couldn't remember. Long story short, this statue represented the powerhouse nations in the world, that at the present and to come. And a lot of and the statue was gold, silver, bronze, iron, and then the lower level of it was made of iron and clay. And they said that was the latter days, and iron and clay don't mix. That's a whole nother story. But long story short, when I was talking to this gentleman, I said, you know what? For this to be the truth and for it to come to pass, all the nations must be dissolved, because it said it was a rock cut without human hands or without natural forces. It came and it smashed the statue. The wind came and blew the remnants of the statue away, and then a new thing started. So right there, that tells me that America is a part of that revelation, a part of that activity. And people that say that they believe in the Christ and the teachings of the Helios Biblos, the book of light for the children of light, there's no way in the world that you can deny that America is practicing witchcraft right now, because she's lying, she's manipulating. You know, it's artificial intelligence is doing the most all over the planet. America has compromised morals and principles and integrity. They're saying that, you know, one thing is one way and another thing is another way. They're confusing the children here in America. They say, you know what? Because of the Constitution, we can't have the word of God and the Pledge of Allegiance, and you know, you can't do certain things or say things. So there's an ostracize. There's a you know, a separation between church and government, or the spiritual realm and the worldly realm, because that's what church represents, or spiritual systems represent the spiritual realm or spiritual operation against the government, which is the worldly operations. Let's go back to in the time of Solomon, excuse me, not Solomon, Samuel. Samuel and Saul. The people said, hey, we want a king like the other nations. And then, it said it vexed this Samuel. He was like, no. We gotta have, the Most High. And they said that the Most High said, nah, let them have what they want. They're not rejecting you, they're rejecting me. So this is how this government, this is a offspring, this is a substitute for the rule of the Most High that the people have chose in the ancient time, that is the part of the modern day operation. Take a minute, digest that. So there's so much to talk about, but I don't got too much time. So let's come from another angle to try to bring some clarity to the picture. So right now today, America is known in a certain realm of consciousness as revised Rome, as revised Babylon, as revised Egypt, as revised Greece, as revised Persia. So all of these systems of operation and probably many others are in a gumbo in the operation of the United States of America. So this gumbo is actually energies and entities that oppose the oneness of the Most High. And this is evident because of the disproportionate operation of society. A lot of people, they are comfortable with what they have gained and their accomplishments, and they still don't have no sympathy or compassion for those that are struggling. Let's go to Isaiah. In the book of Isaiah, the Most High spoke to the people or to the prophet and said, hey, man, I don't care about your new moon feast, your Sabbath days, none of your moon feasts, and none of that. He said true religion or the true way of being spiritual is to go out and feed the hungry. Go see the widows. Take care of the orphans. And do these things of that nature. Let me come up into the New Testament to verify that. They said that a man, he had transitioned and he went to heaven. And he said, when he got there, he said, God, Lord, Yahweh, Jesus, why am I here? He said, man, when I was hungry, you fed me. When I was thirsty, you gave me something to drink. When I didn't have no place to go, you gave me shelter. When I was in jail, you came to see me. He said, Lord, when have I done this for you? When you have done them to your brothers, you have done them to me. Just that simple. How we show people in society love or hatred, we're doing it to the Most High because of the oneness. So, to wind this session down, because this is one of those type of things that you can bounce over here, bounce over there, bounce over there, to try to get the picture. But I'm thinking that most people, even if you got to go back and listen to this video again, you can put the picture together. We got to realize that there is systems, artificial intelligence that is running the system, that is taking people into a disastrous direction to destruction. And so we got to be clear that we don't follow the so-called gods of this realm, because these gods are not gods at all according to the teachings, but they are fallen. They are actually hosts to dynamic forces, or that which oppose the ascension of the Most High within human beings. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you this message in love, and I leave you this message in peace. Do your homework. Don't believe nothing that I say. Do your research. Come to your own conclusion. I would greatly appreciate if you got comments, perspectives, views. Please share them. Before we wind this up, just look at what's going on in America. Take off your blinders and see that this place is another form of Sodom and Gomorrah. This place is a form of a Jericho. And I'm using biblical references because that is what I'm most familiar with to point out, to try to give people some type of visual of what's going on. Just look and pay attention and tell the truth. And don't say wrong is right and right is wrong. We can say everything is just everything, and it just is. And that is true. But you better bet there's some things at one pole and some things at the other pole. Some things bringing a positive charge and some things bringing a negative charge. Both are necessary, but where you want to be at when the book is open. All the thing I've had to say, have a great day on purpose, with purpose, and praise him that raised him. Babylon the Great, the whore that sits on many waters, is also none other than America.